Season 4, Episode 15, where we watch Caligula, Season 1, Episode 17. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Hey, this is James.
Robert Kitts.
The famed anti-terrorist weapon Satsumaxa.
Whoa, Max is slipping in.
You're pulling in deep there.
Always.
I have a correction from 2 weeks ago that I need, somewhat correction. We did I'm with Busey 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And I had a vague idea of where the idea came from. It came from a coworker of mine, but it came about because we were talking about Gary Busey because I saw Point Break. So I was kind of vaguely, but he was yelling at me to give a shout out here. So Mike, yes, it was your idea.
What's his name?
Mike.
What's their name?
I said Mike. I don't know if he wants his last name on here. So
Mike
we'll just
West?
go with Mike. Not Mike West.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on past that, this show is fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah.
So this is pretty much who put this on the show. Every episode is different.
There's actually a... So let's give people an idea of what the show is. Every episode...
Do you want a quick show description?
Yeah, hit me.
Caligula is a psychological phenomenon in which you want to do things that are prohibited. Featured here are numerous pitches rejected by multiple TV stations. However, there are some treasures buried among them. Proposals once buried in darkness, revived here. That's Caligula on Amazon Prime.
And also to note, it's in Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's an Amazon Prime show, Japanese show. It's Amazon produced, and it's each episode has a different reality show premise. Questionable reality. I don't really know.
I mean,
So
this was reality-ish.
The pitch is they have a bunch of rejected reality show ideas, and they're going to try to implement these rejected reality show ideas.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about one episode, but before we get really into it, could we do multiple episodes of this show? Because each one has a different premise. So supposedly different, maybe?
I mean, I think we just do the show one time, but
One
then
time?
there's potential for, for some updates.
Some updates? I don't know. All right. So what happens in this episode, it's called the Abduction Championship.
Yes.
So essentially, these two hosts are talking for a bit, and then they introduce this new challenge, the Abduction Challenge, and then there's pre-taped kind of segments where they get two people to go and attempt to abduct somebody. They show the abduction if it happened, what happens. Then they cut back to the hosts, giving some sort of commentary on the abduction challenge, and then they do that 3 times, and that's
it.
That's the show.
They crown a winner, and that's the show.
Yeah, which it's nebulous. This winner situation.
Did they crown a winner?
I mean,
they did.
Well,
it was
who was
very
the-
obvious who the winner was.
Yeah.
It was obvious,
Well,
but they never said this is the winner.
No,
they
did.
quickly mentioned it.
Okay.
They said we think so. All right, let's go into more minutia. So they have I don't know. So 2 guys, Anthony and whatever.
Well, if we're going to talk about Anthony, we should give the shout out to. We actually have seen Anthony before.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Anthony and this other guy actually abducted somebody. So they're the winners, but they made some joke about how oh, well, he'll have to come back for the next round and we're just going to beat him or something. It was a really tasteless, not funny joke at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Let's talk about the abductions.
Well, but before the abductions, there's the whole training montage thing.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go the minutia of the show.
At least, right? I mean,
So
that is the
before we
show.
even get to the abductions, they intro the show, and it's a good couple minutes of them talking about the last episode of the show.
I think it was about 15 minutes.
No, it was not 15
It
minutes.
felt like 5 minutes.
It felt like a long time.
I thought we time checked it.
It felt too long.
It was very long.
Yeah, we was well, we didn't watch it, so we're this is ridiculous. Stop
But
talking.
if we
about
had
this.
it's not like this is lost and you need a last time on to kind of be like, oh, well, what's going on? This episode has nothing to do with the previous episode. Why are we talking all this time about the previous episode?
It's completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to say it, but you got to move on.
It's-
We're-
yeah.
we're- You already got all your commentary for like this episode on this episode.
Right,
It's
I might
weird.
be jumping a little ahead, but like, so to some degree, this show has something we say we like, which is they have the podcast and the show, where it cuts back to the two hosts to comment on what's going on. But I thought they were. Every time I get back to them, I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah, it was so
I
bad
agree.
every
They were
time.
not good.
They're trying to make jokes, not funny.
And
Zero
then the
funny.
laugh track was
Yeah.
way obnoxious.
Just it was every time we were at these hosts, it was awful.
and they're just laying on the
And
laugh
like,
track.
what would happen is they would show the clips of the thing we just saw, so they could like make a comment on it. And I was just like, I just saw that.
And then
this
they run
isn't
on a loop.
funny.
They run on a loop like 6 times.
Yeah, it would be like it'd be one thing if they were funny, if they were making funny commentary.
I mean, one of the videos is kind of funny, which we'll get into in a
yeah.
minute.
We'll get into the specific
There's
abductions.
definitely one video they showed 6 times that every time we're like, oh.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Don't rush it. Don't
So
rush
like,
it.
But yeah, this like we first introduced the podcast and the show on Terrorist House, another Japanese show.
terrace.
I know,
yeah,
man, that one's tricky to say there.
But this show doesn't pull it off. They messed it up.
The only thing I did like was that they introed the like idea of this. When they're introing the abduction idea, I thought they did a fine job there.
That was their
there was
best
actually
moment.
some funny jokes they were talking about, like, yeah, this is a abduction. They're gonna abduct people. There's gonna be a champion. There's a championship. So we're gonna crown a winner. Like that does not seem good. And they're like trying to justify by like, yeah, this is what you should not do this is what you should do as an abduction.
This is like teaching people how to behave when you're being abducted and how to avoid it.
No, not really. They
No,
weren't
that's what they
focusing
were
on the
saying.
victim at all. They were focusing on how to abduct people.
yeah, but no, that's what they said at the beginning to tee this up.
Right, but
And
that's not what
I
happened.
agree with you. Yeah, we have to get right now. I was like, that just didn't happen. It was definitely like these people abducted, coming up with a plan to abduct somebody.
And training and practice.
They didn't really practice these plans.
I mean,
Just-
loosely practice.
Loose
They ran, it was like a
practice.
dry run.
yeah,
They brought in a ex-mercenary to teach
yeah.
them.
So let's talk about the first abduction video here. There's 2 Japanese guys. I didn't write down anyone's name really.
It doesn't matter.
I want to give you guys a little context.
Okay.
It's a little.
We need the internet corner for this show.
This
for
is a
sure.
non-internet Japan corner. Welcome to the Japan corner.
Oh,
A common, for some reason, like comedians in Japan, a very common form is not to perform singly, but as a duo.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like all these 2 groups, when they have like a weird name, like Toro Salmon, that's their like group name.
Okay. So the first group was Toro Salmon.
That was the third group. I
group?
don't remember what the first
I
one
don't
was.
know. I didn't write down fucking anyone's name.
they're
I'm sorry.
bearfish, whatever.
Like things were like the one thing where you're watching the show is things are moving. There's a lot of text you gotta read.
Yeah.
The
and it's
pace
like-
of the show, the dialogue is really coming at
Yeah,
you.
because it's multiple people talking in Japanese translated to English. It's just like it's moving. You got to be reading really quick. I don't have time to write down anyone's names.
These
really.
guys have definitely been drinking some Red Bull.
Sometimes they're talking, but they're also trying to show some kind of caption on the screen, and they're trying to flip between the caption for the words and the caption for the screen. It is
Yeah,
It's a lot.
impossible.
it's really hard. It's so sorry I didn't get your names, but like that's mainly the reason why.
we got Anthony. That's all we did.
Yeah.
One suggestion, though, for the listeners, if you are going to watch the show, do recommend putting on the subtitles with the yellow font,
yeah, the
as
yellow,
we learned.
the yellow font definitely made it very easier.
There's a lot of time in the show where they have the white Japanese
Yeah.
subtitles already happening, and then they just layer on top the white English, and
I definitely thought James was going to be like, hey, pro tip for all our listeners out there. If you're going to watch the show, turn on the subtitles.
no, I mean that's a personal choice. But if your subtitles are on, I highly recommend the yellow.
I mean, you could have watched with the subtitles, right, Max?
No,
Okay.
it's too much.
So there's 2 people. They're like 2 comedians. They give them like a judo champion
Yes.
that they're gonna go abduct, and like to see these comedians' faces, like, okay, you're gonna come in and abduct somebody. I can't imagine what your face looks like then. But then we get to see their face when they figure out that they're gonna try to abduct like this judo champion. They're like,
And they know
that's-
who he is.
Yeah, that's everyone knew. Like, these are pretty famous Japanese athletes. I feel like you'd be like, hey, go try to
LeBron
abduct
James.
like
You're like, okay, no.
Shaq. Like so, like somebody that's like
I don't think it's quite Shaq level, but it's like go abduct Peyton Manning. And
You definitely don't want to be trying to abduct Shaq. Like, he's a certified police officer or something.
But, like,
he's definitely been trained
but,
to
like,
avoid that.
Shaq's like 400 pounds. We're
Yeah.
not, it's not
But
that
also
level.
humongous.
But
Sure.
like as we get to the next one is a sumo wrestler. That dude's gonna be like 300 plus pounds.
Or like if you're gonna go abduct like Schwarzenegger, but like not current like 70-year-old Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Governator or
Like-
Schwarzenegger.
Governor era Schwarzenegger. That's what we're talking about. Like,
yeah, like
yeah, no.
as we go through into this judo champion, I think he was like a silver medalist in the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
and it's just like, well, okay,
I did like that they referenced his un-Japanese physique. it's like
To be fair, this guy was 287 pounds.
and 6'3".
Yeah.
yeah, he
That's a
he
big
did
dude.
not look like he was like that heavy at all.
He was not scared at any point in this sequence of events.
Well, let's go over their plan.
The plan.
So the
Let's.
plan that they come up that the ex-mercenary
Abduction plan.
helps come up with is they're gonna drop something. He's gonna pick it up, and they're going to get his feet.
No, first they put the bag on his head.
Okay, they put the bag on his head,
Yeah.
and then they wrap his feet in like a cord,
Yeah.
and
and then
that's
throw him into a car.
and throw him into a car. That's the plan.
Perfect plan.
And what really happens is they show up screaming with this black van, get out of the black van in like
Like
in
the
a black-
lowrider, blacked out tinted windows,
Yeah,
black
like-
rims, like all black van that looks
like this
really
van
suspicious.
This van is going to abduct you.
right.
This is the abduction van. If you're gonna get abducted, this is the van that rolls up.
Oh,
And then they
man.
jump out. They're all dressed in black. They're wearing motorcycle helmets.
All black motorcycle helmets, visors down in black tinted. I'm
And-
like, you guys
and they
look so suspicious.
And they drop something on the ground.
Did they even drop anything?
Yeah,
No,
they threw
they totally
something, and the
did.
dude's like,
Okay.
all right.
So one of them starts like saying to him, like, Mr. Takatori, whatever his name is, your feet, please. He's like, what?
Yeah, I remember that.
And
Like,
then the other guy sort of fumbles to like perfectly open the bag the way you would like a garbage bag.
yeah,
It's
so
like
like,
5 seconds getting the bag ready.
It was
Yeah.
definitely like a grocery store situation when you're trying to get the little plastic bag and
Yeah,
you're trying to get some
yeah,
fruits
yeah.
or something. It
Yeah.
was that kind of. It was like, oh, I got the wrong end. Let me flip it over. Oh, okay, there we go.
so there's two of them. One guy has like this wire. He's holding the wire and he's trying to get the guy's attention. The other guy's got this bag that he's fumbling with, trying to just open. And eventually, like he's like, the one guy's like, "Give me your feet. Let me see your feet." And the guy's just looking at him like bug-eyed, like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Get the fuck away
He just-
from me!"
I think he's just saying like, what is this? Like, what are you
I don't remember
doing?
what he says exactly. And this guy with the bag eventually tries to get it over that guy's head, and the guy just like kind of just pushes him away. Like it doesn't. He doesn't even really
No,
have
he
to do
grabs
much.
the bag and he starts like flapping the bag at the two abductors, like
Yeah.
pushing them away.
The
Yeah.
bag is on the guy's head for like 1.5 seconds, and he immediately just reaches around and is free. Like
Yeah.
there's no even effort into him getting free from this bag.
And that's pretty much it. It's just
Well,
like
but then he runs around to the back of the car, at which point he realizes there's like TV cameras, and he starts yelling, "TV! Is this on? Is this on TV?" And he's like all pissed
it's-
off.
The kidnappers get scared of him, and one of them starts going, "It's for TV! It's for TV! Amazon Prime! Amazon Prime!" And then he opens the van and he sees all the TV people inside.
Right, but it looked like at that point he was still pissed, like pretty pissed.
he was very
yeah.
confused and mad about what's going on.
yeah.
He like at some point they mentioned that he thought that they were like some sort of gang because he saw the black van.
I mean,
like,
that
that's a
black van
gang
rolls
van.
up, and you're like, "Oh no, something's going down."
Yeah, like this is the definition of not what to do.
So, well, let's get into it. What are you supposed to do in that situation? Like this,
What?
you're this dude,
I'm the dude, and these
and
people
that
are
black
coming-
van rolls up, and these two motorcycle-looking dudes come out. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, at that point, if they're coming around with the little wire thing, I guess I'm trying to run because there's nothing like try to run into the store and be like, okay, these people are coming after me. Because at that point, these are very shady people with like what I would consider a weapon, which would be like something to strangle me with.
Yeah, definitely. Seems
Not
bad.
not to put around my feet, but like literally, you could strangle somebody with that. So like,
I agree. I think it definitely seems like run is a good move in this situation, but it seemed pretty clear like there was no like, more aggressive weapons. There was no guns involved or anything. So like,
yeah,
I mean, that definitely comes
this
into
is
play.
Japan, so like, but you don't fuck around with people trying to kidnap you.
Oh,
Like,
no.
and it definitely seemed like I'm not sure because in the first like 5 to 10 seconds is what would determine what I would do. I have no idea how I'd react. There's no way for me to know because like you're walking around in daily activity and like somebody in a black van just shows up and comes out with some piano wire. Like, I have no idea. I'd assume I'd run, but like,
Who
who
knows?
the fuck knows?
It's a
Maybe
tough
I
one.
try to take the piano wire from him. Like, I don't know.
Should we try to kidnap Chris?
No, this is a bad idea. This is a bad.
What about Noah?
Oh,
I have an alternative proposal.
does Noah listen?
I mean, we'll find out.
If
I
you
mean,
could,
Noah will find out.
if you could pay a company $20 for them to say, we will have somebody attempt to kidnap you within the next 30 days, would you do it?
$20?
Is
No
it like
way.
a challenge? Like I'm
No,
confused.
no, just
What's
like-
the-
The gain here is like you're always constantly on your feet. You're looking around. Somebody's
You're
gonna
just-
try and
You're just constantly terrified.
yeah.
No,
I'm
Max, it's
very
just.
No, it makes you
confused.
feel alive.
I don't think this is the thing most people want to pay for.
I guess we got to kidnap Max. Max seems
Max
ready.
seems like he's asking for it.
I just like if I know it's coming.
His face right now. He's like, you can't. It does. I don't think it's coming through in the pod, but he's just grinning like a, like a kid.
Max, how long have you wanted to be kidnapped?
One time for my friend's 21st birthday, we tried to abduct him into my car and bring him to New York City, and it didn't work. But
Did you try to like drop something at his feet, then put a bag on his head? Was that your plan?
no, we were like, hey, come hang out. And we got him almost to the car, but not quite. And it just didn't work.
Let's see.
Riveting.
Riveting stuff,
riveting.
guys.
So when you say that, what I think of is an old school when they go and they kidnap all the members because they were like being inducted into like the fraternity, and like they just roll up with the black in the van with the
Oh, yeah,
like
the Metallica playing.
yeah, and they've got like the stockings on, and like Will Ferrell comes out and is like, he's fine, we'll have him back by like tomorrow, like lunch or dinner or something.
Get in the van, Blue.
Yeah. That's the only abduction I can really think of. But yeah, that was a pretty entertaining bit.
Oh yeah.
The like 5-minute bit of them just like trying to abduct this guy. But at the end of the day, while watching that, I'm just like, I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing for the right reasons. Like, this guy, we're taking advantage of this guy in like not the best way. It's like you're trying to kidnap a guy without him knowing. And like the funny part is about how him reacting. You could get hurt. There's lots of things that could happen here. But I don't know. It puts like a sour taste in my mouth as I'm
Man,
laughing.
you really
here.
just took a lot of the air out of the
Well,
room with that one.
Well, the interesting thing is like, so all three abductees, I guess, are like definitely in the moment when they don't know what's going on, are like pretty like confused, pissed. They all seem kind of pretty chill with it afterwards, like, haha, yeah, that was a good one. And they're just like kind of like laughing about it and stuff. So
Well, yeah,
and
once,
clearly,
once
like they signed the
see it's
waiver
on TV
to be
and
like,
whatever.
okay
Yeah,
with it. I do like that when they show like a preview clip and they'll actually blur out the persons because in theory this is someone you'd recognize, though none of us would recognize them.
Right.
But like I like that. And then they like reveal who it is, and then they'll actually show the person. And
That's a nice touch.
that's a nice
I have a nice quote for that one
Oh,
from
give it to
somebody in the room. James said, every time there's a blur there, I think it's a giant penis.
well, like the blurring is very aggressive.
I know, but it's not.
It's a bit over the top. Like the blurring is definitely, it's way too much. You have no idea what anything is, and it's just I don't know. I don't get it. Why does that have to be so aggressive? Rob is just staring at me with a blank look. So I think with that,
Yeah, that's all I really need to say about it.
that's the end of that one.
It's not a penis.
Nope.
It's not.
It could have been though. Who knows?
It's not really flesh colored that much at all because it's like got all their clothing. Anyway, let's go on to the sumo champion and the whole reason why we watched the show this episode to begin with, because the screenshot was of Anthony, our boy from Documental.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say, flipping through the different episodes was they pull you in with the screenshots, I feel like, for this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one you go, man, what about that? Whoa, but the next one, and it's just one after another, really.
It's
really
almost
pulls you
like
in.
who put this on.
Yeah.
It is who put this on the show.
you
Gotta
go.
get those screenshots.
The
to,
screenshot game is they're on point.
I wasn't really trying to pat our backs there, but I guess that's where.
Well,
we
our
ended
screenshot
up.
game is on point. Let's be clear. Everyone knows that.
Okay,
Everyone
we
that
get
listens to the pod sees the photos. They know our
But
photos are on point.
Now we got to really do a good one for this episode.
No
I
Really
pressure.
raise the
I
stakes.
I do a pretty good job. And
That is
behind the scenes, the host is the one that pulls the photos usually.
true. That is true.
Send us feedback at who put this on at
Yeah.
gmail.com.
If you have a complaint about our photos, let us know at who put this on.
Let
at
Chris
gmail.com.
know at,
Yeah.
At the Chris.
at the Chris Lorenz.
Yeah, the last time I tweeted was a while ago. Anyway, so their plan is to blind him with a flashlight.
This is aggressive.
Then
This
they're-
flashlight.
Yeah. They're going to pose as somebody, come up blind him. Then they're going to use a net gun. And then they're going to use a fake gun to coerce him to get into the van.
This plan definitely ramped it up a good bit, I feel like, from the first one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, drop something and he's just going to pick it up as he
put a-
dresses like...
Put a shopping bag on his
We
head.
went
I'm very
from
confused.
a random bag to a net gun.
Yeah.
Man, okay, but firstly, the flashlight. This is not just an ordinary flash. This is some kind of, I don't know what kind of rating, but some kind of police flashlight that is designed
Blinds people
to
at night.
temporarily blind people.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, it looked like one of those mag flashlights from like way back in the day that had like 8 D batteries in it.
Yeah, mag lights.
That you could like fucking beat somebody to death with. That's what it looked like.
Whoa, that was a little dark there. But
This show's pretty dark, to be
yeah,
clear.
it is.
We're talking about abducting people on a show called Caligula.
But somehow it's a comedy. Go figure.
I like that they describe Caligula just means to do something you're not supposed to do. I'm like, is that really what that means?
Maybe it's like a phrase they use there or something.
It could
Like,
be.
boy, you really Caligula'd that. I don't know.
That'd be wild if that's actually a phrase.
And secondly, the neck gun was so fucking loud.
Oh yeah.
That was legit. Sounded like they fired a real ass
Yeah,
gun.
it is like when people say they have like a net gun or they've got like any type of gun, like it's a gun. Like it's gonna be loud. There's no silencer.
that was terrifying.
There's no silencer there.
How did nobody like come outside or call the cops or anything?
So like this plan works out pretty well. They like
There's one big complication.
we'll
there's
get
a
to the
hitch.
complication. But like they're like tailing this guy. He's on a bike from his one store to his other store. So they like see him leave one store
And, like,
on
it's a
his
bicycle.
Yeah, on his bicycle. And so
And
they just drive ahead of him on
They're
in
in
a
the
car.
black van again.
In the
But
black
yeah.
van.
this time instead of the black van just rolling up, they like park the black van ahead of him and just get out of the van
Yeah.
early. That seems like a better strategy.
Not to mention it's at night this time. So
It's
like
at
the black
night.
van is
Yeah.
less conspicuous because it's
I
dark.
don't know, man. You see that van, you're not just walking by it.
The,
You're going the other way.
Yeah, anyway. So he comes up on his bike and they blind him very successfully. He's very
Well, yeah,
confused after
they
that.
they approach him and they're like, "Hey, excuse me," or something, and they're just like, "I'm so lost. Do you know where so and so station is or whatever?" And so the dude's like, "What? Like what? What are you talking about?" And then they just blind him in the face with this crazy ass flashlight,
Yeah.
and then shoot him with this neck gun.
So this net gun goes off and this is just like net surrounds him and his bike.
and his
Oh,
bike.
man.
They managed to like
But he's down. He's on the ground.
yeah, he's on the ground. They like put some sort of like
Cable
zip tie
ties.
or around his like legs.
Well, they tried with the zip tie. I don't know if they were ever actually successful with the zip tie.
It's unclear.
But the net was very successful.
One thing's for sure, the net was successful at catching everything in its path, including a bicycle.
Yeah, so they spend a lot of time trying to get this bicycle out of the net, and it just like does not happen. A, because he's not cooperating.
No, he's getting abducted.
Yeah, he's getting abducted, and at some point he just kind of gives up. Which
Well, the thing is that they had a fake gun, and he's like, "Oh, do you have a stun gun?" And they're like, "Yes." So he thinks they have actually like some sort of weapon to like if he doesn't cooperate, which I think was the key.
We forgot to mention the third element, which was the fake gun.
I didn't even see what happened with the fake gun in that.
He noticed it, but he thought it was a stun gun.
Yeah.
No, in the captions it talked about a stun gun, and like you can definitely see Anthony holding like the gun at him and stuff.
Yeah, which explains why he just kind of, I think, once he got tired out, he's like, all right.
Yeah.
So Anthony here is like an American that grew up in Japan, and he's also a black gentleman.
Yes, he
so
is.
like he's a rare sight in Japan, and probably very intimidating.
This is true, and there's a lot of uncomfortable places we could take this conversation.
Yeah.
So,
but
instead,
I'm just saying, like,
have you ever seen a non-cartoon net gun? Like, as I was trying to remember, like, I've definitely seen net guns in cartoons.
It's definitely like some Bugs Bunny shit.
Oh yeah, it was just Bugs Bunny shit. But I was trying to think, like, has there been a situation where I've actually seen a live-action net gun thing? I don't know if I have.
Yeah.
is there one in Mad Max?
Oh,
That's
maybe.
a good
I don't
guess.
remember.
If that's like it's a good
Like,
guess.
there's
I
some
can think.
crazy
like Batman.
crap-
Batman. Some kind of
Batman?
Batman movies had to have like a night gun.
I've never seen one in a reality show. That's for sure.
Does
That's-
Spider-Man count?
Oh, Spider-Man. I guess that's kind of a net
Hand
gun.
net guns?
Yeah, but you don't get the sound.
Except
like-
it's a web, not a net. But
Yeah.
yeah. So eventually they like get him to stand up and go to the car, and they put him and the bicycle in the black van.
Like
Oh,
the
man.
key to the whole abduction succeeding is he eventually is like, okay, fine, I'll just get in the car, and then they can just focus on getting the bike in the car.
The
Yeah.
guy is
And that was
very pliable.
But it's like as soon as they can't even quite get the van door closed because of the bike. But as soon as like he's like basically in the van, then the producer comes out and be like, okay, let's get him out and apologize.
Yeah, it's just like 1,000 I'm sorry. It's like I'm sorry. It's the show. I'm
It's for
sorry.
TV. Amazon Prime. It's for
Amazon
TV.
Prime. Like that makes it better because it's a show. Like, dude, you just abducted me.
I mean, the guy was pretty all smiles.
All
after
three of
it.
these people are way more appeasing than I would be at this point. I would be really stressed, and after somebody tries to abduct me, no matter what. Like I'm like, oh my god, now I've got all this anxiety about people abducting me.
Ooh, yeah.
A black van's gonna drive by Chris tomorrow. He's just gonna like jump 3 feet in the air.
Definitely looking behind me, looking both ways. I'm on my bike and I see somebody behind me. You know,
Well, the bike will help because the bike will get caught in the net.
the net
It gives
gun.
you a chance.
Yeah, so Anthony succeeds. They succeed.
They succeed.
The other guys did not succeed.
So net gun, good move. You want to abduct people. That's one thing we learned.
Oh man.
Really good stuff.
Do we need like the Chris Harrison segment or disclaimer here where like the who put this on does not
Yeah,
condone or endorse
do
abductions
not-
of any kind.
Don't try this at home.
Don't abduct people.
They
No
didn't
good.
even say that in the show. It's like, don't do this at home.
They really never did. That was kind of concerning.
Like it is like every time on US TV something like this, they'll have like some sort of warning saying, "Hey, don't do this."
yeah,
stuff
I was
at
waiting
home.
for
Don't
that
be an
cops
idiot."
moment where it's like, hey, these are like real people. Don't attempt to simulate or whatever. But never happened.
Well, they had a
Oh.
viewer discretion advised at the start. I don't know
Yeah,
if
the
that's
very
Oh.
first
lost
thing
in
is just
translation.
like, this is adult content or something.
Yeah, but that doesn't say like, "Hey, don't do this."
Yeah, it's followed by abduction time in all caps.
Oh yeah, the captioning of the show is nuts. Like they just have like between each segment they'll be like it's abduction time or it's like plan time.
And there's even like this one time where there's like just a giant heart on the screen, like not a Valentine's heart, like a human heart, and,
Just animated.
and it just beats
Oh.
a couple times for. And I'm like, what is the point of this? I don't understand.
It's kind of like the barbecue pitmasters though with the charcoal. It's just a beating heart.
oh.
It's kind of similar to that transition.
Do you guys remember the opening to Documental, which is by the same production company?
Oh, I definitely do.
So it's sort of like two gladiator types, and one guy like is shown telling a joke to the other one, and then the other one they like X-ray in on his skull, and he's like ha ha ha, and then his head explodes from laughing.
Oh no!
So it feels very much cut from the same cloth.
Oh yeah. You said it was the same production company.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just assume they're on Amazon. It's
Do you think the Documental host is in any of these episodes? Because we got Anthony from Documental. Who else from Documental you think is in
I
this
feel like
thing?
you get some of the comedians. I feel like the host of Documental is pretty popular.
But he's like an old time comedian. Like he's also a comedian.
But we already have the podcast crew. He's not in the podcast.
he's
crew.
not in the podcast crew. That's
So,
true.
He's too busy making more seasons of Documental, which we need
I wonder
to
if you fire up season 2 of Documental, you're like, oh, that guy from Caligula.
It could be.
Could be.
Could be. Let's go over the last comedy duo.
Oh my god.
They have to they have to get a jujitsu expert named Shinigawa.
Oh yeah.
So their plan here is to surprise him and then capture him with a plank.
Oh yeah.
And this plank is just they took a circle out of like a door plank. Like it's like just a plank of wood.
No, it's like foam.
It's
Blue foam.
okay, it's
Yeah.
blue foam.
It's about like 2 or 3 feet by 3-ish feet or something.
Yeah.
Kind of size, big square piece of
and they
whatever.
cut a hole in the center of it.
That is the size of a traffic cone.
Size of a traffic cone, and their plan is to put it over this guy's head and then use some sort of abduction capturing tool.
Well, that thing looks freaking nuts, though.
Well, the thing is, like, I felt like they're
it's not even part of so like each one of these they give the steps of the plan. This part's not even in the steps of the plan.
this-
It seems pretty clutch.
Well, this is the thing. It's like I think who was the expert they were helping with again? Who's the Dr. Pepper of the situation again?
Kubatsu or something.
Yeah. So I feel like they came up with this plan, and then the Dr. Pepper was like,
No.
I need to give you guys a little help. Your plan is not going to work. And so then they bring out the other thing.
The Satsumata.
Yeah,
Tell me
what
about
Max
that.
said.
All right. Do you know there was this thing that was popular with kids in the 90s that was like
Pog?
no, it was a straight like
Alf?
band and you would slap it on your wrist and it would wrap around your wrist.
Yeah, the wrist slapper
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No one knows what that thing's called.
No.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
This is that on a grand scale and also on a stick. So you like bring it up to a person, you hit a button and it like wraps around them.
I didn't think you were describing the thing. I thought you were going to give us some Japanese spiel on like the Kubatsu guy or whatever.
No,
No.
You really
I think
took that in
that
a
was a
different
really
direction.
clutch
no.
explanation of that.
Yeah.
thing.
Good job, Max.
it-
That was.
So it's this thing on a stick, and it goes around somebody, and they can't get out.
It's got like Velcro on the
like,
back.
It
or
just
something.
wraps around the whole
Yeah.
body, around the outer side of the arms, and just put your hands at your side.
There was a caption was like the best way to get to sort of get a hold of dangerous people or something.
Yeah.
Dangerous criminals, I think it
Oh, it
was.
said criminals?
I think.
Oh, man. Intense.
This is definitely some kind of SWAT gear
Oh,
level stuff.
So, Rob, tell us what happens.
So before we get able to like we said the hole is the size of a traffic cone, and they showed us them putting a traffic cone through. I thought they were just testing the size. No, they're gonna leave the traffic cone in the thing, and they're gonna put the traffic cone over the guy's head too. Which I
can't
really
believe that's
didn't-
the first part of the plan is let's put this board with a traffic cone over some
That's the
dude's head.
second part. The first part is to surprise him.
Oh my god.
So they dressed up as like this is like where they're the construction worker with the goggles.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like they were in like goggles within like a
Well-
ski mask.
Well, one of the guys is dressed. He was supposed to dress up as a construction worker, and he's just dressed up all in black with like these goggles
The
on.
weirdest looking construction
yeah,
work I've
like
ever
he's
seen.
not a construction worker.
So the mark is immediately suspicious that something weird's going on. The guy runs in with the board, and they don't even come close to getting the board on this guy's head.
He just knocks it off immediately. He's
And then
just,
they
"Get
try
outta
to come in with the thing on a stick, and like not even close. He like
it just falls off
no,
before they even get it to him.
No,
I
they
think.
end up one of the guy who used the thing on the stick ended up capturing his partner.
Well, okay, but
That was
that's
later.
That's later. That's later.
Is that later?
yeah,
was
that
it
was
right
definitely
away.
fell on the floor.
Right.
and
when
they were trying to
brought
pick it
in.
up,
Right.
and then the
Oh.
guy just like pushed him into it or something.
right.
Like, there was some nebulous thing happening
Because
there.
to the point that Rob's talking about is that at some point the dude that was being like the victim here just captures the one dude that's trying to get him. He just pins him on the ground.
He captured both of them.
Well, but okay, but this is where this is debatable, which is so the other dude, the dude's partner. So one
Yeah.
dude's partner one is down. Partner
Yeah.
number two
Just
has
gives
the
in.
thing on a stick thing, and he brings it in, and the dude that's pinned is like, "Hey, get him!" And so he comes in and he pins his partner. I don't understand why he does this. This doesn't make any
he
sense.
gave up. I think
He
he
was
thought
just
it was
doing
funny.
it for the comedic,
Yeah.
just for like the comedic shtick. So then, I think it's very questionable. But then, obviously, the victim here captures partner number two and is now pinned both of them down under his knees on the ground.
Yeah. So the end of this, both of the people that tried to abduct him are kidnapped themselves. So he should be the champion.
Right? He has to be right.
Mr. Shinagawa is the champion.
Oh yeah.
We have deemed. Did the show also deem that?
No, the show gave the win to Anthony and his partner
Nah.
because they were the only one of the 3 teams to successfully kidnap their mark.
I feel like the last two could have done it if they just did the thing on the pole.
Yeah, so once you have the thing on the pole, why are you trying to get the board on the guy's head?
'Cause it's
just
funny.
use the thing on the pole.
They were. I think so. Here's a part that I might have missed in the early part of the tip of the show, and who knows if they even explained it. Which is maybe there's like style points to determine the champ, right? So it's like let's assume all 3 did the thing, and then it's like, well, how did you do it? It's like, well, we put a cone on this guy's head. That was pretty funny, right?
No, this is true. So it's like Fortune Fire. It's like if only one blade survives, that one wins. But if 2 survive, then you go to the tiebreaker.
I don't. So this,
I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of that would explain the stupid cone.
So
Because
no-
if they did the thing with the cone and then they actually kidnapped the guy, you're like, you win.
you put a cone on that
You
guy's
put a
head.
cone on the guy's head.
No, the whole thing is they're comedians. They're like, this would be funny. I don't think it has anything to do with actually trying to abduct anyone or try to win.
I think they're trying to get that comedic style point.
They're just trying to be funny.
So you don't think
They're not even trying to win.
But that might be
I
how
don't-
you win.
I mean, let's be clear. The people with the cone were obviously not trying to win when the one partner captured his own partner in the thing on a stick. Like, it's out the window at that point for trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think they were style points. I just think they were like,
Idiots.
The style points would explain it, though.
I like the style points explanation.
if like I just gotta assume that
Because I
if the
cannot
show-
think of any other explanation.
right.
my favorite part about that last like abduction,
Oh my gosh.
Air quotes.
Oh boy.
attempted abduction,
Easy, Chris.
attempted. Well, I watched the show. I don't tell you.
You can't just be saying
Is
things
like
your
this guy
favorite
that
part of
comes in
abductions.
all in black to surprise the guy, and immediately the guy says, "This is scary." Like the other guy's not even in the picture yet. Just like the fact that this guy comes up to him like kind of aggressively, and he's like trying to run the other way already.
It's no good.
I also like at the end of the abduction when they're talking to the guy after it, they actually try to put the cone on his head and he lets them, and then he just breaks the board.
Well, he like just pushes it.
Yeah.
He's like, "There's no way." You put it on his head. He's just pushing it off.
Yeah, there's no way. Both those two guys are trying to hold it. And he just pushes it off. It's super easy, and then it breaks in half.
Yeah.
That was not a good plan. Net gun for the win.
Net guy. The
If
first
they had a net gun, I think they would have done it.
I think yeah, wow.
the first plan wasn't awful. It was just executed so poorly.
Yeah.
But like, if the third plan, if the second guy runs up instead of having the board has a net gun, there's no bike to screw up the net. I think they do it.
There's also no like the board thing wouldn't have been screwed up by the bike.
I guess if you have the bike,
It's pretty nuts though, because like that's just the pilot of that show, and there's no more of that show.
Yeah.
That's it. One hitter.
Thank God.
so do you think these are actually failed pitches for shows, or do you think they just made them up?
Oh, they just made them up.
I don't know.
This is definitely an idea no one would ever have pitched.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We've watched a lot of
Pitched?
weird
I could
shows.
see pitched maybe, but
Like
filmed.
We're gonna get 2 comedians
I can't
to
believe
go
they, yeah.
abduct.
Well, maybe it's not comedians, maybe
martial
it-
arts.
Right. I think
Champions?
I think they're shoehorning the comedians into all of these.
Yeah, what if we're gonna get 10 would-be social media influencers and put them in teams and challenge them to kidnap people? Like, and it's nothing to do with comedians, and not necessarily kidnap martial arts experts, but just kidnap like random people.
So you're saying that the pitch of the show was just a straight up pitch, and they took it. They're like, okay, how can we make this funny?
Yes.
Versus like they pitched this comedic reality show.
Yeah, no.
Correct.
Imagine a more serious social media influencer filled version of this show.
I just don't
and
understand.
then they took
how
that
you,
idea and changed it into this.
Maybe Japan's different. There's no way you pitch this in the U.S. There's so much liability to abduct somebody that you don't know is going to going to get abducted. Like, that just won't happen. It's just never going to happen.
Who knows, man?
In Japan, these three guys were more accommodating than I'd ever see anyone in the U.S.
Listen,
be
so maybe in
accommodating
Japan
this.
it's not crazy.
Here,
Maybe it is a real.
Rob, go try to abduct Gary Busey right now.
Oh, should we go try to abduct Gary Busey?
All right, tune in next week for the jail
Oh,
pod.
no.
Max, get us NetGut.
Amazon.com.
Oh man.
I don't think you can buy a NetGun on Amazon.com.
All right, let's go to the internet corner and find out.
Not immediately, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's all my minutia for the show. Like, I don't know have any like.
The last segment of the show, though, which I really liked, was the next time.
Oh, the next time on.
So similar to the screen art for the shows that really suck you in, the next time on was wild. Like, it looked very just off the charts wild. They're trying to hunt and capture with their bare hands a wild boar out in it's the middle of nowhere in like a jungle.
Yeah.
It looked very intense.
Yeah. So the first episode, I believe, is this guy trying to hunt. Whatever it says, like Mr. Nagatomi wants to go like hunt. He wants to learn how to hunt.
I love that
Just pull in
Chris's go-to Japanese name is Nakatomi.
I said
my
Nagatomi. Okay, not Nakatomi.
Chris gonna go down to Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah.
It's
He's
fine.
gonna go to.
That's so good.
I can't believe you tried to pull that one over us. Come on.
What? Mr. Caligula, he's come through. He's just trying to learn how to hunt. It was very intense.
Yeah.
Like, the tone of that one was really intense.
It
I
looked
love-
wild.
I love the idea of like it's all one show, but every episode is so different.
But, like, this was the second episode of the first episode.
I think it may have been like the third. Like maybe
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
just
maybe
having lots of
multiple.
luck with that one.
Yeah. If this one worked out, so we did more episodes of it. Because it's not as batshit insane as abducting people.
Ratings?
All right, no, Max,
Well-
I need to share a little thing from the internet corner.
Yeah.
So, I could not find to get an actual NetGun on Amazon.
Oh man.
But if you search NetGun on Amazon, the first suggestion is
Strict
watch Strictly Sexual, the complete series,
on Amazon Prime.
and Amazon Prime.
What's the second item?
Second item is Can you imagine Airzuka toy?
Is it a net gun? Toy?
I
Like a
don't-
toy net gun?
I don't think so.
I think it requires. I don't know if you need gunpowder for this thing. We need some sort of like
Propellant.
propellant that you can't just ship. Maybe.
Since Airzuka only shoots air, there's no need to purchase or hunt for foam darts and balls.
It's like an
Kids
air
can
blaster?
test their skills
It's
by
a
shooting
Nerf-
stacks of paper cups, put out rows of candles, and even make astounding rings of air in foggy or cloudy environments.
Okay, so it's a Nerf without the
Astounding.
gun.
is.
Without
All
the
right,
bullets.
all right. Ratings. All right.
Ratings.
All right. All right. I can start off. I think it's middle third. I think that like I like the idea of who put this on the show, where each episode is different, and I like the comedic twist. I think all of these are probably comedic, but like once again with documental, like the comedy doesn't translate super well. I think, and it's very. I feel like it is not the greatest to be laughing at somebody trying to get being abducted. That is just not the right tone. Like, I really want to see. I don't want to see people get abducted, but it was funny, so I can't
Yeah.
it's one of those things. So issues. So middle third. That's where it's gonna be.
Okay.
James, what do you got for me?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's very easy to put this show in the bottom third.
But
However, it's just so damn weird and different and funky enough that like it's kind of a good ride, even though the content was like off the charts and just really scary. So for that, like I got to put it in the middle. Just I think right solid in the middle. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I think a little bit on the negative is the pace of the dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's also, I feel like it's not super critical that you're catching all of it. If you're catching like 70% of it, it's plenty. And it's very enjoyable and different. So yeah, I would recommend giving it a watch.
Rob, what do you got?
I'm gonna stick with the trend. I think it's a middle tier show. I think there were definitely some moments that were really funny and that I really enjoyed. There were definitely some other, like we talked about, like the podcast and the show with the host was no good and it like dragged on at certain points. I think, and I do wonder with this show how much it's hit and miss per episode. I think we did actually pick a pretty good episode to watch, and I wonder how much like some of these episodes are going to be like not good. But you know, I liked it. I had a good time, but not quite good enough to give it the top third. So middle it is.
Max.
This is a hard show to judge because every episode's different. I got to go with you guys middle third, top of the middle. I think it has a lot of potential to be good or bad, but I thought it was so fucking weird. I got to give it middle of the top of the middle.
I really wish like we've seen documental on this, and like I love seeing these reality shows from different cultures and just kind of like how weird and crazy these things can be. And like Japan has kind of been like the forefront of like that kind of like, I don't know, milieu. Like they've gotten that culture. I can't think of the right term.
Culture shock?
No, not culture shock. Just like that reputation.
Sure,
to have
yeah.
like weird, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But like the UK also had some weird, crazy stuff.
That's true.
So like I'd love to see more weird, crazy stuff from other parts of the world that just like we just don't have access to.
Well, I wonder if we gotta start digging deeper into the Amazon Prime, because like the way they were just like shouting like Amazon Prime, it sound like, oh yeah, this is just like a thing people will expect in Japan of like Amazon's making all kinds of shows. So
Well,
maybe
I've looked at what else is like people are watching between documental. I haven't really looked at Caligula, but like there's like one other reality show. There really isn't any other recommended reality shows based on that. There's a bunch of other Japanese shows, but they're like scripted dramas or something. So I don't know if they're just still building up over there or not all of it is available here. I don't really know. Like, I mean, we did an episode where we got an India VPN and we watched an Indian show. So like,
I might do it again.
yeah, I mean, it's just like the show we watched wasn't very good. So like, just doesn't incentivize us to do it again.
I mean, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen some terrible shows that, you know, we just put somebody in the penalty box for a little bit and you bring them out.
Yeah, the other culture penalty box was in. Now it's out.
Yeah.
But we try to also watch shows that are available for people to watch. So like,
I mean, it's handy when it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that.
yeah,
It
or
makes
it's something new.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to get, you know, some of these companies that start getting our who put this on, like unanimous decisions on shows, like unanimous middle third.
I don't think they want them.
I mean, they're not going to advertise the unanimous,
But what about that top third?
You get the
though?
unanimous top third. You're definitely putting that on.
Kind
Yeah.
of golden seal.
Who put this on approved?
I like that.
I like
it.
yeah. Do we like average out the ratings and give like a percentage on like a website?
We could just
you
decide.
come to.
We can just decide what qualifies as a rating for who put this on approved, and then you just get the stamp.
yeah,
approved.
above 60%. We'll take the Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, we're getting some of that data fleshed out, you know. So like
if it's all middle thirds, I think that's who put this on approved, right?
Yeah.
You might need like a one top third in there.
well, approved versus recommended. Right,
Like,
so like
is it-
approved
is
is like
it-
yeah,
is
like
it-
we generally would approve somebody watching the show, but we're not saying this is in the top third of our shows.
Yeah, I think that there's like
the difference.
certified fresh and just fresh.
well,
Like there's got to be.
we might need to take this off the pod and give an update later on
we'll
what,
work out the
what
details
We'll
offline.
work out the details later. So some of you may be aware that one of our shows premieres tonight. One of our favorite shows premieres tonight.
It's a
Is
big
that
night.
why Harrison's not here? No one can tell.
If I was a
And
betting
Annabeth
man,
also missing in action.
Was she watching the challenge?
I think so.
But like, is that
No.
why she's not here?
I don't know,
if
but it
I
does
was
seem
highly
like why
possible.
Harrison's not here. Noah, Mr. Internet Corner. I don't know. He's traveling.
I think Noah's just working. I think
He's
he
got
just
a good
had one
reason.
of those nights.
Yep.
yeah, if I was a betting man, I would not take that. I would not bet against that.
No one's betting against that.
But
So
big time.
So the theme, War of the Worlds 2.
Oh,
Number 2.
buddy.
Two War, Two Worlds.
Can we stay out of the spoilers?
No, this is just the minor, just for the theme. That's it.
Okay. I'm just
Just-
checking. No spoilers.
No, I'm just
Like-
giving. There's another part of the theme. UK versus US.
Oh.
It's like the Ryder Cup of the challenge.
Yeah, so it's
Good
Why
good
didn't they
reference.
theme it that?
it's because
They probably couldn't get the rights to the Ryder
War of
Cup.
the Worlds
That's a
Part
deep
2.
cut, James. It's a deep cut.
I mean, like, if you're into golf at all.
I don't know what the Venn diagram of golf fans and challenge fans are, though.
Oh, I mean, that's fair.
This Venn diagram exists.
And it
So-
exists.
so, like-
James is in the intersection. I just don't know how broad it is.
Like,
That might be the only
There's
one.
not a lot of people at the intersection for sure.
Why isn't there a golf challenge on the challenge?
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. There was, man. We haven't done that show. We should really do it at some point. The Golf Channel's reality TV show, The Big Break.
Oh, never heard of it.
It's pretty good.
I don't
James,
think
you
it's
gotta
even
put
in
on the queue.
I
not even
have
in
some
the queue.
spoilers. I've seen many of episodes. I didn't watch all of it, but there was one season that I got into and I watched it.
I mean, so like after the last season of the challenge, it definitely kind of almost turned into UK versus the US. So I definitely understand like the theming going on there.
So I got like a thing in my Google Now, which I did not click on, but it was like all challenge results have leaked, including
Oh,
winner.
Gosh.
And apparently you can go, and it's like it's all out there.
I just
That
have to turn
sucks.
Google off for the next
Yeah.
month.
No, there's definitely people that do that every season.
It's every season.
Like every season, like usually it'll get like leaked. That was why the one season they were like, we're not going to announce it till like the reunion show
Mm.
because then it can't leak because no one knows really
Right.
who the winner is. So like, which was awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm really excited to see another season. To be honest, they're not in. I won't say where they're located.
Dude, they got that redemption house though. That's the key.
no, that
So the
would be the
survivors
worst.
all in on the redemption house.
If they reveal Redemption House in the first episode, the season's very questionable.
The redemption. If there's a redemption house, I'm definitely not watching.
So is this like the fall season? Is this just going to run throughout like, I mean, NFL
It's gonna be
starting,
like
college
40
football starting?
episodes and starts like right now. This
mean,
never ends. They'll just keep adding
They'll-
more and more people.
They'll air the finale the week before Thanksgiving. That's my prediction.
The last one was 20 episodes or so.
I don't remember.
What else
Too
have people
long.
been watching?
So I got a quick update on I'm with Busey.
Oh, man.
Oh, buddy.
So we talked a little bit about the infamous second episode that Chris watched. So
How
I've
was
now
it?
watched second episode. It was great.
Was it as crazy as Chris promised?
It was pretty like it. Instead of it being like the first episode, they do like a bunch of different like weird little vignettes, and this one has more of like a through line of they're just
Okay.
doing one thing. So I'll just say they go on a vision quest in the desert, which Chris talked about. And so one thing I'll say is at one point they have a fire, and Gary's just holding a stick in the fire. He's like, "I'm just gonna get this on fire, and then I'm gonna hit you with it." And Adam's like, "Oh," as he always says, like, "Oh, okay." Well, and then Gary literally like pulls it out of the fire, like swings toward him, and Adam starts running away. He's like, "Shit, what are you doing?" And Gary gets up and starts chasing him. That was great.
That's very good. I have
So-
an update. Did you know James Rohal doesn't like Gary Busey?
It's true. Not a fan.
Oh, it was good that you weren't here for that week then.
Sounds like it.
It was a lot of Gary Busey.
It's not that I'm like it's just I'm not a fan. I don't know. I just
he's like,
Just don't
as we
like it.
discussed in the pod, he's in like 3 movies. And he's been on some reality shows.
He's
and
in
he
those
has,
Fire TV commercials.
Fire TV commercials. He's
Annabeth
like in
was
nothing.
really impressed
Like,
with the Fire TV.
I don't even know what movies he's in that you would say that you don't like him. Like he's like, he has this personality that I guess he's cultivated a little bit of being this crazy old man, but like,
Oh.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'll definitely be
Not my cup of tea.
from time to time checking out a little bit more. I'm with Busey.
I'm interested to watch that second episode again. I feel like it's better than the first episode. Like less busy.
There's nothing like the moment where all of a sudden Gary Busey's in drag, and you're just like, wait, what? But it was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I'm ready for more.
I've been keeping up. The Jersey Shore is back on.
Oh, how's the vacation?
It's really weird. So like some minutia is like season 3, episode 1, according to Comcast, premiered last week.
Oh, so now it's season 3.
Now it's just magically switched to season 3.
So are they past the wedding then?
Yeah. So the wedding ended. Now it's season 3, episode 1.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of like there is definitely a time skip around
A time jump.
time jump. There's a time jump. Now, like
So the situation's in jail now.
the end of the episode situation goes to jail.
Oh. big
And
time.
Ronnie is like finally maybe breaking up with that girl.
Oh, with Jen.
And the other woman is like announced her divorce or whatever. So it's like
JWoww.
JWoww, yeah. For some reason I was blanking on it.
Man, this is like a.
This is a very downer episode.
Downer episode.
They're not on vacation, I'll tell you that.
They're not on vacation.
No.
What?
It's really just like,
How can you not be on vacation?
well, Snooki's pregnant.
Wait,
Man.
Snooki's pregnant? When did that happen?
This episode.
There's so much going on in this episode.
There's so and like
Like she finds out she's pregnant in this episode.
I think they might have mentioned the last episode. No, I think this episode is when she mentions that she's pregnant, and then the other woman on the show, she has her baby,
Oh, Dina.
Dina, because I didn't watch that season of.
Who the hell is Dina?
Yeah, exactly.
She
Dina's the other one.
replaced.
I don't know. I haven't seen
No,
the
she
show.
replaced Angelina.
Yeah, it was Angelina for season 1, and then Dina for season whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. Angelina has nothing going on right now. That's about it.
Has Angelina made the opening credits or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
Again, this is a show that's just like kind of on, and I'm
a
kind of
background
paying
show.
attention
Yeah.
on most of these shows.
A bunch of us watched 2 more episodes of Are You the One in Rob's hot tub without Rob.
How was it?
So good.
It was also Emmy's first hot tub TV
Oh, yeah,
viewing
that's right.
experience.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
we'll
a
see. We'll
lot-
see if
that's a
we hot
long
tub,
time in the
pod.
in the hot tub.
next pod maybe a hot tub pod. Slight spoilers.
It's been discussed.
It's rumors are brewing.
There's also rumors we got a theme month coming. I'm not going to say more than that.
Oh,
we'll see.
oh boy,
I'm familiar with this.
I don't know about theme month, but one thing that we haven't talked yet about, Chris.
What?
You've been wanting to talk about it for a little bit now. A little show called Instant Hotel.
Oh yeah. Are you caught up? You watched all season 1?
I saw episode 6, right, where
Okay.
they introduced the new people. And then I binged the whole rest of the show. I've seen the whole damn
I
series.
haven't seen season 2.
I haven't seen season 2.
Just season 1.
Have you seen also through?
I've seen all season 1. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. The second.
So the
group-
second group of people are nuts.
Yeah, they're like the reason why this show shouldn't really work. Doesn't really work.
Shay or whatever her name is, that's basically like some kind of Kardashian type, is just
Oh.
so over the top.
Yeah.
And I can't stand her. But then the other person who is what she's known for her tag is, I'm in the top 1% of TripAdvisor reviewers in the world. And so I know my shit. And I'm like, this person sucks. Like,
Yeah.
you just hate this person so much. And
Yeah,
she's
she's
just
awful.
lying. Like, oh my God. So the houseboat episode, though,
Yeah.
that was the best one. I think that was like my
The
favorite
houseboat was
episode.
really cool.
So,
So one
this-
of the instant hotels is a houseboat?
one of the instant hotels is a whole-on houseboat on the
Nice.
river.
Nice.
And so, like, they're just cruising around on this houseboat, driving it. They're going jet skiing. They got a jet ski or
It's
like a wakeboard thing
Yeah.
or
Are
Are
whatever.
there 4 rooms? It's like some giant houseboat?
Yeah, it's like some big ass houseboat.
Well, that was one of the contentions. Is like,
Oh, it's a little
2
cramped.
of the couples like are in the same room.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's definitely like some kind of bunk bed situation. Like people were having to share rooms with people they didn't know. So
It was-
needless to say,
it's
they didn't get great
normally
reviews.
sleep 6, I believe. This is really what it says.
Yeah,
But you could get an extra 2 people in there somehow.
I think
the
a couple people
somehow
slept on the
was-
couch or something.
Yeah, the somehow is really what. And the people that own the houseboat are the 2 people that would be okay with like being on the couch. Like they'd be okay with whatever.
Yeah. But so the people that own the house were definitely some of the like nicer people.
Oh,
out
they
of
were
it.
so
like maybe
cool.
the nicest, coolest people on the whole show.
I want to hang out with those people. Those
Oh,
people
yeah.
seem really fun to hang out with.
One dude's just barbecuing, gotten some brews. He's a rock melon farmer. Is that it?
Yeah.
It's like some kind of Australian melon. He's just picking melons. That's it. That's what he does. And his girlfriend or wife or partner,
his
sister,
Girlfriend, wife,
it
sister,
really
same
went
thing.
whole gamut. Is like a professional wakeboarder. So he's just driving the boat around. She's wakeboarding. They're doing flips and shit. They're having a grand old time on this river, barbecuing. They're just living.
They're on a boat.
That sounds
they
great.
roll in. You know how we've been like griping about how all the luggage all these people bring?
Yeah.
They show up like very reasonable people with like a backpack and a small bag.
Oh, nice.
Right? Like very reasonable. And then Shay and this other girl show up. And they're not on the same team. They're with some partners. But Mikey. I can't do it. Can you do it?
No.
Oh my god. Just the Kardashian Mikey holler. Mikey's her boo or whatever.
It's very unclear.
It's also
it's
unclear.
very
Well, not as
unclear.
unclear as the other couple
Oh,
that
yeah.
are in a questionable relate. I don't even know how they. So they just don't know how to classify their relationship.
Oh.
So they're just like we're friends, but then they're getting showers together. Like stuff's happening, like on the houseboat and things. Like
Oh man.
wild ride it was.
I should watch this.
The
It was
second
very
group of people
crazy.
is way more interesting than the first group.
Way more interesting, but also like more hate it. But then you also just kind of want to see where it goes. But then they're definitely gaming it up like hardcore. They are
Yeah.
ripping people apart like on these reviews. It is cutthroat.
Oh,
Somebody they gave it 2. Somebody gave it 2.
Yeah, somebody gave it 2. So
Damn.
somebody was crying during the reviews.
Yeah.
This was wild. And then the finale. So they pick another finalist, right? And then there's a finale,
That
How's
was
the
really
finale
and
work?
they bring
I
him back.
don't know. Just don't. That was dumb. The second season they dropped it for a good reason.
Yeah, no, I mean the finale wasn't great, but
They like
you
go
had to
back
see where
and
it
do
happens.
two
Yeah.
houses again.
So they basically mix it up. They take like 2 of the groups from the first one, 2 of the groups from the second group, and they put them all in the house. So now it has to sleep like 10
it has
people
to sleep
somehow.
10 people.
So
Let's
it's
just
like you
sleep
had to
2
win it,
extra
and then they're
people.
like, "Hey, you got to add sleeping for 2 more." And they're like, "Okay, you got a month." Like,
Well, but the one we saw, there was the room that had nothing clear to do with it. So that's where you put the extra 2.
that's not where they put the extra bed.
Well, so they didn't win. This like one place that won, like literally didn't have enough people. They put a tent outside.
yeah. So this is the first people. Or
The
no
Barbie.
names. Are we doing names or no names?
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, it's
whatever.
Babe and Bondi
Babe.
Oh,
are the
Babe and
first
Barbie.
finalist groups.
It's like Barbie.
Bondi,
They put a tent
named
on Bondi
after
Beach.
Bondi Beach.
The
Remember?
tent is just on Bondi Beach.
No, it's in their backyard.
They had a pretty nice backyard.
But actually,
That was a pretty. It was
and
a
then
pretty
it was
baller
like Leo
tent
and
situation.
Leroy,
Yeah, and
and somebody
yeah. I don't know.
and his partner. They were the ones that were like the pickiest, and they had to sleep in the tent. And actually, they liked it.
Oh,
It was very surprising.
Yeah.
I do not see Leroy enjoying tent.
Leroy
Right?
wanted to hate that house so much. He hated Bondi Beach.
He hated
It
the
was-
beach, or he hated Bondi the person.
Everything.
He hated everything about it. He's a big hater.
He's a big hater.
But he was nice. Like the haters in the second set of people were just
Oh,
like 2,
yeah.
4. Like they were just
Leroy,
like,
by comparison, was like a marshmallow, like cupcake guy.
Oh, wow.
Like compared to these guys.
This is nuts.
definitely the
Just-
second group
he
of
was
people
easy
are
going,
like more entertaining to watch, I think.
but in a kind
Well,
of bad way too.
Yeah. It's definitely like that whole show ends up being Shade the Show. So like
Slang and shade. So you have been watching season 2 or not?
I haven't watched
Okay.
season 2.
I feel like after season 1 now, I could dip in.
I mean, I can watch season 2. I'm just like,
yeah.
it's one of those things where like the overall tone of the show is kind of negative, and I'm like, that's not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I want more positive show like feelings for my shows. Like when I
Oh
watch
yeah.
them.
I definitely couldn't handle more of like the second group from season 1. That's too much.
There's just
I got one last quick update of not a show I've watched, but they announced the new cast of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh.
And
Oh,
Chris,
yeah.
one of your favorites, Camaro from Queer Eye, is going to be on. So are you in?
Who's Camaro?
The culture guy.
The culture guy. Okay, yeah. No,
No.
I don't care about Dancing with the Stars.
Also, if
No matter
Harrison's-
who's on it.
Also, if Harrison's here, Kel from Keenan and Kel. is
Oh,
gonna be on it too.
Kel.
We all like Kel, dude.
I mean, Harrison's the
Is
one
he
who talks-
dancing with orange soda? Like who's his partner?
I'm sure they'll do something like that.
Also, Sean Spice.
We don't want to talk about that, man.
Yeah. We haven't done. We did Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, we did, and we hated it.
Yeah, it was awful. There's 0% chance of watching Dancing with the
We
Stars.
had Frankie Muniz on the.
Was that the
episode
Terrell
recently.
Owens?
Was Terrell Owens on that? Oh, he might have
No,
been.
T.O. was on the challenge.
I think T.O. was on multiple things we saw.
What's T.O. doing now?
I have no idea.
Bathing in money.
I don't think he's bathing in money at all.
He might have spent all his money.
He's,
Oh.
he's he's. There's no way you're on Dancing with the Stars if you're bathing in money.
If you're a narcissist, you could be.
Whoa.
Maybe. Non-reality show related. I
What?
watched The Boys on Amazon.
Oh, how's the boys?
It's like this. How to describe it? It is. What if superheroes were like assholes and like worked for a giant corporation? And it's really good satire on like big corporations and like superhero movies. It's great. I really like, you'll know by the end of the first episode like the humor and if you're gonna like it. But if you like the first episode, you're really gonna enjoy all of it.
I saw the trailer. I was like, this looks good, but I just got too many things. To
There's
watch.
like
But
so much to
it's
watch.
got Carl Urban. I like Carl Urban. He's pretty good.
Yeah, like it's like what if Superman was an ass, and it's great. I don't know. It's just like a fun experiment, and like then they do a really good social commentary, which is surprising, like because like a lot of shows don't really do a great job of that.
Right.
All right. Well, you can find us on Twitter at @HoopOfTheSon. You can find us on Facebook.com/HoopOfTheSon. You can email us questions and suggestions at HoopOfTheSon@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next time.
This episode is brought to you by Bat Squatch.
Bat Squatch.